What up, Misfits? Today we are talking about embracing the off seasons of life. Now, what does that mean? Well, before we get into that, in order to go into an off season of life, there has to be transition. And in transition, there is change. And change can be a beautiful thing. Alright, so let's get to it. So what do I mean by off seasons? Well, first off, let me say that change is just weird, right? Some people like it, some people hate it, some people don't know how they feel about it, but change, depending on the change, it can be a pretty difficult thing. And that's really what I want to address today, the difficulties of change, the difficulties of transition, and really learning to embrace it, because there can be so much good coming from it. So what do I mean by the off seasons of life? Well, you can look at life as seasons. I like to look at life as a book, and your life is molded and shaped and written by you, the author of your life, in these chapters that constantly build towards this ending, towards this purpose. And I do believe life has a purpose. Call me an essentialist for those philosophers out there. And so when I say off season, I'm talking about it in the context of life, but I'm really taking that term from sports, actually, because when you look at a sports team during the season of sports, they're out playing games, going hard in the paint, winning, doing a great job. But in the off season is when they're really getting prepared for that great and amazing season. Sometimes, hopefully, depending on the team that you root for. But that off season is actually so crucial for the on season. Now, I know in sports it goes on season, off season, on season, off season, but in life there's not always a visible this is the on season and this is the off season. And so if you take that concept and form it into like the book of life that I was talking about, where you are looking at different parts of your life as chapters in your book, this chapter that you're on right now can be the off season for the next chapter. And the next chapter will be the off season for the next chapter. This can be kind of a confusing concept, so hopefully I'm explaining it well. Where you are right now in life is both your on season and off season. Whether you're in a good place in life or you're in a really terrible place in life, it is your on season and off season. Now, when you're transitioning into a different season, and I'm talking about transitions like you just got fired, or your finances is like in the tank, and you're fighting with your family, relationships are trashed, whatever. That is going into another chapter of your life. So in that chapter, in that season, embrace it, because you are getting ready for the next chapter of your life. I know that whatever the case may be, it can be scary, it can be amazing. When it is scary, embracing that fear and taking it head on is good for a couple reasons, but let me tell you why. So if you run from the transition, if you run from the change, there is no telling what kind of lessons that you are missing out on in life. And you may say, lessons in life? Who cares? Like, I need money. Yeah, I get money. Okay, let me see if I can articulate this here. Money can't buy happiness. There, it's that easy. Money can't buy happiness. And if you were in something, or you had something that was making you happy, and then you're transitioning out of it, and you're like, oh, now I'm not doing the thing that makes me happy. Well, was doing that thing really, is that what made you fulfilled, or was that just filling a hole in your life that was never fulfilled, but that job or that relationship or that whatever was just boosting your pride and ego to make you feel like you had it all together? So when you're embracing this change, you can either choose to be selfless or selfish. Now, if you choose to be selfish, you're going to be like, well, this sucks, I hate all this. But if you're selfless, then you can really take that opportunity and you can say, these are the lessons that I'm going to learn in this time of my life, and I'm going to be able to learn these lessons and share them with others. Like, if you're just viewing this situation at hand as what am I going to do, then you're not really looking at the big picture of things. Like, since when has life become about you? So learning how to embrace these seasons of life, learning how to embrace the chapters of life, where you have an on season, you have an off season, and really where you're at now is both the on season and off season. Because it's the off season, you're like, man, life sucks right now, or you're like, it's great. But while it's great, let's look at it from the other end. If your life is super great right now, then say, okay, I'm going to get ready for when an off season hits me. And you're going to save up money, and you're going to like get close to your friends and family, and you're going to be like, you know, just really not taking advantage of where you're at in life. And then if things crash and burn, you got all these relationships and people that you can lean on and that love you, and you got a boatload of savings, and the list really can go on and on depending on your situation at hand. But the point being is, in your on season, it's also your off season. And on your off season, where you're down in the dumps, whatever, it's not about what you have in the off season. It's what you can learn to share with the world. It's actually learning what matters most in the worst off seasons of life. And I feel like that is what's important. That is the point of this video. Embracing when things are so down and out, when things are so in the dumps, and you're in that off season of life, learning those lessons, learning those things to share with others, and learning really what life is about, embracing that off season. When you go back into an on season or the next chapter of your life, you will be thriving. You will be like, this is what life is really about. This is what I was missing. And that on season is going to be even better. And then when you're in the on season, you can prepare for the next off season, and you can just keep going and going and going. And this is what life is about. It's learning those lessons of that life is not about you. It is the relationships, it is the people that you're with, it is the lessons that you're learning to help others that are around you. So embrace the on season, embrace the off season, embrace each and every chapter of life, because you will learn the lessons in the off season that you will never have the chance to learn in the on season, and you will learn lessons in the on season that you will never have a chance to learn in your off season. And learning these lessons can benefit and help others. I hope I'm getting my point across, and I hope I'm doing well at making this point. So, when the sun goes down, when the lights go off, when you're in transition that you might hate, embracing it, embracing the bad chapters of life, embracing the off seasons, can teach you things that will put you even more on track than you could have ever imagined in your on seasons. That's what I got for today. If you like what you hear, if you like what you see, like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you misfits later. Peace!